should be live, mate. So, let's give it another couple of seconds and we should be good to go.
All right then.
Yep. Okay, welcome to ANZ Combined Racing League's final session of the Bathurst 1000. In commentary, I'm joined again by Gear 3 Gaming. And it's
Hello.
A nice welcome to Gear for the final session.
Thank you very much for having me along for the final session once again. We just finished the last session half an hour ago, and it was a rather interesting finish to the session involving my other co-commentator, Woody Lizard, who got together a bit with Darky. If you saw that, that was on
Lloyd.
Make sure you go check that out. Oh, Lloyd, sorry, I don't know why I said Darky.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here we are.
It was one of those things.
Yeah, here we are. It's the session where it all is decided. There's probably about 3 cars left in the running. Sado managed to get himself back in the mix for the final session, getting his lap back. So it will be between Triple Rotor Racing, Sado, and Uncrewed Squid for the win of the Bathurst 1000 for 2019. And I cannot wait to see how this plays out. It should be absolutely superb.
Oh yes, I think it's really played into a really good battle for the lead here, the top 3 podium. Sado, you can't take it away from him from that session 3 that he did to get on that lead lap. It's a sensational effort, and mate, it'll be just deserved if he can get on that top step after the final session here.
Yeah, it's so exciting when it could actually be anyone who gets this top step of the podium in the final session, and I would honestly just prefer if this practice session ended and we got straight into it. But right now here in the practice session, it's Lucky who's gone quickest so far with a 202.2, so lots of 2s, and he's currently on top of the session so far. He's followed closely by Blade Racer, who unfortunately this race has gone from first to last in the race so far, and well, that's not particularly what he would have wanted.
Yeah, but we've had communication from him that he has had some hardware issues with his accelerator and brake, I think it was, not working properly. So that's not a good thing. That's how I think he ended up in the war at Forest Elbow when we seen that his brake pedal wasn't working. So hopefully he's fixed all that up, and he can try and get himself off from the bottom of the grid and into the top 10. At the moment, he's 1 lap down off what is it, Nuclear Chocolate in the number 51 Pace motorsport car.
Well, actually, speaking of pace, Sado has just sent me a message, and well, I mean, the last sessions have been, pretty difficult for pace. So what they've done is they've gone and gotten themselves a car from Besmone, because what has happened is that Cringy Criminal, he only just made it into the session, and that was the car the game gave him. So it looks like, he's actually gotten Darky's car for the championship, and he's come to race the number 6 car in the final session of the race. So, bit of an interesting,
bit of a teammate, but hopefully they'll be able to make the grid there, because there is a little cut off sometimes. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah, hopefully things just work out all right. So we're pretty much at the end of the practice session, and so far it looks like Lockie will top the session unless Uncrewed Squid can do any better than a 204.9. And oh, never mind, RSJ's just gone quick with a 201. Let's see if Uncrewed Squid can do any better. He's about to come across the line to finish his final lap of the practice. Well, he'll just go for 1 more lap, but it's good enough for a 201.7. So he's got 1 more lap to do this, and the checkered flag is out for the session.
Yeah, so the guys would have just been getting dialed in, getting their mental game going again, just their turning points and everything. So it's very important, this little 10-minute session, just to get them reacquainted again. Some of the guys haven't raced until from last night. Yeah,
so Uncrewed Squid, he's obviously getting himself acquainted. He's potentially could top the session by the end, and he's done a 201.7 so far, so if he can make up 6 tenths in this session, he could top it. RSJ is currently on top of the 201.1 as Uncrewed Squid is just navigating the mountain, and you could not have gotten any closer to that wall. You couldn't have fit a paperclip between the Evel Knievel car and the wall. Coming down through the dipper. He's taking it really rather well. It's like a pretty quick lap, this one. If he can carry this momentum into the race, he should have a pretty good final session as long as he can keep it together. And he'll be starting from first position in this session, and if he can hold on to it, Shads could win the... Well, actually, did Uncrewed Squid win this race last year? Was he Shads' teammate?
Yeah, exactly. They were teammates, mate. They did
So
win
yeah,
it, so they're the defending champions.
so they could be two-time champions of the race, and we've actually got a few other fast times in speed races at 2:01.5 and triple rotor racing. He's on top of the session with nearly a 2:01 dead, so that's a good show of pace from triple rotor. Let's see what Uncrewed Squid can do into the final corner, and he's taking it really quite well, carries the momentum onto the start-finish straight. What will it be for Uncrewed Squid? It's across the line with a 2:01.2, so he improved a bit.
I'm just going to just leave the party quickly and just join their one and make sure that Cringy Criminal and all does make the grid.
So should I just stay here then?
Yeah, stay here because we might have to restart the lobby.
Oh, okay.
I'll just see. I'll go over to their party and I'll be back. Hey guys, how are yous? Okay, so who just came in at the last minute? Was it Cringy Criminal or was it... So how many minutes did they have? Because if I'm just asking the question, if they can't get into the grid here... Okay, so if everyone's... Okay, well, we'll continue, and if they don't make the grid, is everyone happy just to quit out and then we'll start a new one without practice? Or okay. Okay, yeah, everyone's on the... Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's all good. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem. All right, get ready, guys. You're all good with the grid order? Okay. See you guys. Have a good race. Okay, we're all good.
And I think my audio is still included, so that's good. So we are moments away from the formation lap here for the final session of the Bathurst 1000. It comes down effectively to 3 cars and 3 drivers. Will it be Uncrewed Squid, Triple Rotor Racing, or Sado? Who will the mountain choose today? And we're on the loading screen at the moment, so we'll be waiting for the green for the session to go green, and we'll start the formation lap. So,
yeah, so just to clear everything up for the people that might be only just tuning in for the first time, this is actually lap 120 of our 161 laps. We've split them into 4 sessions, and we've only got 3 cars on the lead lap, as you've just heard from Gear 3 Gaming with Uncrewed Squid, Triple Rotor and Sado 15. So they'll go off on a formation lap. And then you'll find that the next car is actually 2 laps down, which is Speed Racer, Derpy Dan and RSJ 37. So what they're doing is they're pulling up at the side of pit exit on the left there, on the grass, going up Mountain Straight. And they'll wait for the to fall 2 laps down. And then we've got 2 cars, Lockie 55s and Fish Racing 3, both 3 laps down. So they'll wait for an extra lap before they rejoin the race. And then Night Pegasus is 4 laps down. Then Nuclear Chocolate is 7 laps down, and Blade Racer is 8 laps down. So theoretically, once that all gets sorted, it'll be a like standing results during the race.
Yeah, so here are your leaders. It's the white car versus the green car versus the blue car, which I feel will really put it into simple terms. And this is what it will come down to for the final session, and I cannot wait for this race to get out of the way. It will be certainly a fight to the finish. 41 laps ahead of us to complete the 161 laps, which is a full Bathurst 1000 race distance. And it comes to its thrilling conclusion in probably about an hour and a half's time. And it should be very, very interesting to see. So who's your money on, Woody?
I'm thinking Sato. He's done such a good effort to get there, and I can see him putting a lot of pressure, and I think he'll be just trying to hold on the back of Triple. If he can make the move, he will, but he'll be just trying to stay with him until the pit stops and see what eventuates from there.
Yeah, I reckon Sato, he's shown that he's probably actually quicker than the front runners, so if he can get some clean air at the start, then he should be able to actually start running away from them. But however, passing Triple Rudder Racing and Uncrewed Squid, it's certainly a task that's easier said than done, and well, we're about to see how Sato handles that. Coming through the Forest Elbow, and we're getting ready to go green in just a moment's time. Uncrewed Squid will lead the field away for one final time for the Supercars Championship and for the Bathurst 1000 in 2019. The championship's all said and done, but there's still something to fight for.
Yeah, buckle up guys, because it's going to get very interesting in the next hour and a half.
So, Uncrewed Squid into the final chicane, and
I think Triple would be a little bit more closer.
Yeah, they're sort of starting to bunch up now, and
this guy looks like he's put the foot down.
Uncrewed Squid, he's racing. We're green for one final time in 2019. Let's go racing to the end of the Bathurst 1000. And it looks like Uncrewed Squid, he's got the exact start he would have wanted to as Sato goes into the back of Triple Motor Racing. And this is where we'll see some of the other cars actually start their final...
they won't start until next lap.
Oh, that's my apologies.
Yeah.
So anyway, Sato, he's actually dropped off the back of Triple Rotor Racing after a little bit of contact at the start of the race. And Uncrewed Squid, he's already almost pulled out a second gap to Triple Rotor behind him. So Sato, he'll want to clear Triple Rotor and just try and get to Uncrewed Squid as soon as possible. Up through the cutting. And
now, the headlights were worked for Unscrewed Squid last year on the final session, so it looks like he's going to run those headlights on for the final session. And looks like Triple Roto's following suit, but Sato's kept his headlights off.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much of a difference that will be made. And there's been issues. Something's happened to these two. Sato's gotten by Triple Rotor Racing, and I think there must have been contact because these cars have found the wall, and Uncrewed Squid is 4 seconds ahead of Sato and 11 seconds ahead of Triple Rotor. So Triple Rotor with a lot of damage, and it looks like Sato, yeah, there's been major issues at the start of the final session. Sato's going very slowly. Something's gone very much awry.
Yeah, I think that maybe Triple might have had a little bit of a lose because Sato was a fair little bit, like about 2 seconds behind Triple, going up the mountain there.
And Sato was just dropping back from Uncrewed Squid, and he's not going as fast as he could do. If we look at his speed though, actually, he's not going anywhere near as fast as he should.
He's about 10 kilometers slower, isn't he?
Yeah, so I reckon we'll see Sato on pit road, and that'll be very, very costly. He's going very, very slowly, and will he peel off onto pit road? No, he stays out. He's deemed it safe enough to continue. Question is, will Triple Rotor come in on this lap? No, he stayed out as well. Looks like they'll try and stay out till the end of the pit window. Now, I think some of these guys will start to get going.
Be able to go now, but they should be going now, but for some reason they're not.
I think it's because they're waiting for Triple Rotor Racing to come through. So
yeah,
RSJ,
they only have to
he's already peeking out. And we're underway.
They only have to actually wait for the leader. So unfortunately they got a little bit confused there.
And here begins another battle in the midfield. Speed Racer leads 4th, 5th and 6th. It's RSJ versus Derpy Dan and Speed Racer. RSJ, did he go off?
You'll find that most of the gentlemen's agreement that they all follow suit until Conrod Straight. So no passing it over the top, just so they can get their tyre pressures back up to operating or near operating pressures.
Meanwhile, many drivers still sitting on the grid, and is Sato continuing to drop back from the leading car? I think he might be sort of back up to pace now, but Uncrewed Squid, he's definitely driving away from Sato at the moment. So that's not the start that Triple Rotor and Sato would have wanted. Whatever happened to them?
Looks like he's very gingerly going through the dipper there, because he must have a little bit of front end damage. He might even have suspension.
Well, it might be something for post-race interviews. We'll have to ask them about what's gone on, and we'll definitely have to.
The race isn't over though, but yeah, we have to hopefully something happens with Squid, but Sato will be holding on to that pit window, which will probably be around that lap 14, is it? They can sort of get away with.
They'll probably, I think the earliest we'll see people pit is lap 16. Probably. I mean, you could probably get away with lap 14, but it's not the wisest decision. But here we go. We have another battle here in the midfield. It's Derpy Dan, who was taken over from Lost Vanish, and he's holding off RSJ, who took over from Right Sower, and they are pretty close at the beginning of their second lap. And
yeah, we'll be seeing that both Lockie and Fish Racing joining the race again.
Yep. Oh, and yeah, Lockie and Fish Racing, of course. Oh, and Lockie in the wall just as we cut to him, and Fish Racing cuts through in the wrong car by the looks of things. Looks like there's been another one. Oh, sorry, yes, so Lockie's been lap by yeah, okay. Sorry, my apologies. Fish Racing,
that's Highlander, I think, isn't it?
No, it's Sato, because we've only got one mod in the car.
Sato, sorry, that's
right.
Yeah.
So Fish Racing, who's taken over from Colonel Lloyd in the last session, and he'll be chasing down Lockie. But if we look back at this battle here, which is probably one of the closest ones on track at the moment, it's Derpy Dan versus RSJ, coming to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, RSJ's got plenty of pace, so he's going to be putting a lot of pressure on Derpy Dan. And Derpy Dan's done a really good couple of stints. He's a wildcard entry into this event.
Yeah, number 13 Snapmail car. It's not one that we've seen throughout the season, and here it is, racing at the Bathurst 1000 for 5th and 6th against RSJ. So that'll be a good top 5 result if he can get this wildcard entry in a good position. And now, but he will have RSJ for company. He's slipstreaming him down the straight, and not sure how close RSJ will get to him. It looks like RSJ might be a little better in a straight line than Derpy Dan is, because he seems to have gained on him a little bit coming down the Conrod straight. And Derpy Dan locking up, and a few wheels on the grass.
Break, a bit costly. RSJ's on the attack.
RSJ goes through. Derpy Dan loses the place to RSJ. That might be a slowdown penalty for Derpy Dan, and as a result, RSJ goes up through in 5th position. Mind you, that battling has given Speed Racer time to escape into 4th place. I think a few of these cars on the side of the road here will... Oh no, they still quite far back.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait for, I think it's lap 7 or lap 8.
So, well, Sato, despite having that damage, he is still setting reasonably similar pace to Uncrewed Squid. So if he can get it repaired in the pit stops and he doesn't make any more mistakes, then he should be alright. He is coming up to lap 9 Pegasus, who's running in 9th place, who took over from Emu and was actually in the commentary booth in the last session.
Keep his cool, Sato. That's a nice move, but yeah, he's just got to take his cool. He's already had a little bit of damage. He doesn't want to fall into any incidents with lapping the slower cars.
Yeah, here he is. He's coming down the mountain, having some lap traffic. Meanwhile, Triple Rotor Racing, he is dropping off the pace. He is 19 seconds back. and I think that car is very, very damaged. The rear wing is entirely bent, and it'll be interesting
He's lucky
to
he's
find out
got
what
a
happens.
2-lap buffer, doesn't he? Because the next car is Speed Racer, which is 2 laps behind him. I
Yeah,
think that
so
Speed Racer just coming up to him now, isn't it?
yeah, it is. So, oh well, it might be actually. Yes, it is. So Speed Racer will be coming to unlap himself. So what if I was Triple Rudder Racing right now? Well, actually, would you stay out with the damage that you have, or would you come into the pit lane, get it repaired, and not risk losing anything to Speed Racer behind him?
Oh, look, they've got a bit of a buffer. I'd stay out. You never know what's going to happen here. Unscrewed Squid could be just managing his pace, but at that time it's helping both Sato and Triple Rotor to stay in touch. So as the race goes on and there's going to be more lap traffic that they're going to be contending with, you never know what could happen with Unscrewed Squid. So I think you're better off to wait for that window to open, for the fuel window.
Yeah,
And
well,
then do your pit stop.
well,
Because you
Sato.
can't afford to have 2 pit stops.
Yeah, no. Well, Darky pit 4 times in the last session, which was rather interesting to see. Also, should note that Sato is actually he lapped 2 seconds slower than Uncrewed Squid last time, so he is definitely losing time to him. Hopefully he can find his composure and get back into the race and start reeling him in again. He seems to be back up to
He's
pace
still
though.
within 10 seconds, isn't he? He's just, what, watering on that 8 to 9 seconds behind Squid.
Yeah, and well, he's 8 seconds behind, and of course he made up a minute gap in the last session. So of course, making up an 8-second gap is definitely possible. Oh, and
Yeah, but you can just sort of see too what he's about 2 seconds slower that last lap compared to
yeah, he
Squid.
was. Well, maybe he's just trying to, assess the damage and see how his car's handling and seeing if he can push. Meanwhile, so these guys are still stopped at the side of the road. However, this will be a battle that's... Well, actually, is Cringy Criminal ahead of Blade Racer? Is he a few laps ahead, or...?
Yeah, so basically Blade Racer is going to wait for 8 laps down, so the leaders will be on their 9th lap, and Cringy Criminal will be going when the leaders come through on their 8th lap to be 7 laps down. There'll be a lap difference, but with Blade Racer's pace, that's the challenge that Blade Racer's got, to try and get that lap back on Cringy Criminal and take 10th spot.
Yeah, well, the leaders are on lap 7. Well, on their lap 7, which I'm not sure is technically lap 6.
No, it's lap 7.
Alright, okay. So we're counting the
all
safe.
live, so-
We're counting the formation lap as a lap then.
Yeah, we've been doing that.
Oh, yeah,
That's
okay.
for all events, yeah. So basically, we've had 39 racing laps for the first 3 sessions, and this will be a 40-lap racing session.
Oh yeah, right. Cool. Now let's see who's close together. Derpy Dan is 3 seconds adrift of RSJ, so that might. Well, if he can close the gap, it might be something. It might be a battle that will play out in the not too distant future. Setting pretty similar pace as RSJ. He's actually coming up to unlap himself from Triple Rotor Racing as he is continuing to drop off the pace off the lead. He's now 22.6 seconds adrift on that first lap contact, which is a bit of a shame that happened because I was excited to see how that battle was going to play out.
Yeah, and we've got Unscrewed Squid, Shadz's teammate, already throwing the bait out there, saying that the race is over before it even started. And so he's got his confidence that Squid's just controlling the race at the moment.
Well, so far he is. He's had the start he wanted. He is 9.7 seconds up the road from Sato, and if he can keep it like that, he'll be the winner at the end of the race. However, there's still quite a bit of distance to go as Triple Rotor Racing into the wall ahead of RSJ, and he'll be coming to unlap himself. So
RSJ's in what, 5th spot, is he? So Speed Racer's in front of him, so
yeah,
RSJ's made 1 spot. He started in 6th, so yeah, that's done really well. Bit of support for Derpy Dan in the number 13, who's in 6th spot at the moment.
And a bit of a hairy moment for RSJ, and he's gone into the front of Triple Rotor Racing. He outbraked himself in the chase, and then went off the road and came back out ahead of Triple Rudder Racing, and that has meant that Derpy Dan has had the opportunity to catch back up to RSJ, and this will be something that plays out in the next couple of minutes. The gap is about a second now, so that's definitely manageable. And here we go, Derpy Dan chasing
So
after.
cars should have been taken off by now, but they're not. So hopefully one of the cars takes off. Cringy criminal.
He's just sitting
Should be
there.
leaving.
Of course, he's already been passed by.
Yeah.
So here we go. RSJ, he's getting held up by Triple Rudder Racing, despite Triple Rudder Racing being significantly ahead, and this is giving opportunities for Derpy Dan to catch back up to him. And RSJ is actually quicker than Triple Rudder Racing right now, so he's definitely being held up right now. But there's not really anywhere for Triple Rudder to let him by. And of course he doesn't
Yeah, I
have
think that
to.
he had to give that position back too, because when he made the overtake he was off the track, so the game probably told him to give that position back. Not too sure. Well, it wasn't a position actually, they would have
No, it
been lap
wasn't a
difference,
position,
but
Yeah. So I think he would have gotten away with it. Whatever the case, it's costing him time now, and with a second gap, it will certainly be a battle that plays out. And RSJ locking
it's definitely
up.
livened up this battle for 5th and 6th, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. And well, 5th and 6th in a race like this, if I finished there, I'd certainly be happy with it. So I know that these two are going to want to fight for it. And well, RSJ, he's in the slipstream of Triple Rudder Racing right now, and it looks like he's going to try it through the chase, and yes, he does. He gets by Triple Rudder.
Great move.
That was for track
He
position.
learned from his mistake last lap and really able to pull that one up.
Meanwhile, also RSJ, he's now ahead of him, and it looks like Derpy Dan, he's gone ahead of Triple Rudder Racing as well, and he'll now be chasing after RSJ. And it looks like Blade Racer, has he taken off?
Yeah, he should be gone.
Cringy Criminal's gone.
He should be gone.
Uh,
Yeah, I think they got a little bit muddled up. They should have left a little bit earlier than that.
Well, I mean, well, what's a couple of laps between friends at that point anyway? I mean, they are significantly behind. But, yeah, these two. And Uncrewed Squid continuing to gap Sato, which is not what he would have wanted. And it might be a second victory in a row for Uncrewed Squid and Shads.
Yeah, they just got to count those numbers down, those laps remaining, don't they? And,
Yeah, they do.
Get closer and closer to that victory. But once those pit stops, we'll know that obviously Sato will have a fast car again. He'll be delayed in the pit stops for that repair of the damaged car. But will he be fast enough to catch up back up to the back of Squid? We won't know that until a little bit longer.
Yeah, this race certainly is not over, and looks like Derpy Dan might have just had a very hairy moment there.
Yeah, he just pinched the brake coming into the Forest Elbow.
And RSJ's pulled out 2-second gap to the cars behind. Now, if we have a look,
There's a little battle between RSJ and Derpy Dan. That's going to go, I think, pretty much for the whole race. I can see this happening.
yeah, well, Derpy Dan is a little bit further back from RSJ at the moment for that mistake, but he certainly, well, he's actually caught up to him a bit actually, and we'll have to compare the lap times at the end of this. So RSJ does a 2:03, and Derpy Dan, well, he's done a 2:04, but still he's managing to stay relatively close to him.
Yeah, just stay in touch and see what happens once they hit and come up to any more traffic. And RSJ did make a few mistakes that last session as well, as most drivers did, but a double stint for RSJ, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So, I believe if I've just counting that.
Derby Dan used the back of the wall there.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he just side glanced. It shouldn't hurt him, but just puts you off. Your confidence
Yeah, it does
coming
a bit.
over there on the top. Yeah.
So if I've counted this correctly, Uncrewed Squid. So far he's won half of the races this season. So if he can win here at Bathurst, he'll have won more than half of the races, and well, that's why he's champion, basically. And well, if he does it here, say if he wins, that'll pretty much be a summary of his season, almost complete domination. And he's had, of course, the help of Chads with him at the Bathurst 1000. And here we go.
Definitely not
Derpy
a bad
Dan.
steerer to have Shads.
Derpy Dan lets Triple Rotor Racing through again. So I'm not sure if Triple Rotor Racing found some pace. And meanwhile, RSJ is lapping. Who is this? He's lapping Fish Racing. Yeah. So he goes through.
So Fish has sort of lost contact with Lockie. They were both on the same lap. They're battling for 7th and 8th.
Yeah, he's sort of checked out a little bit. Has Lockie in the battle in the lower echelons of the midfield, but yeah, they were battling at the start, and obviously they're not anymore. And,
well, Lockie will be aiming to try and catch Derpy Dan. He's a lap difference there, but getting sixth place will be a good result for our car.
Yeah, we certainly would.
Pretty dismal session in the wetland session too, and also my last session.
Yeah, so we Derpy Dan has actually lost quite a lot of time to RSJ. It's nearly 7 seconds Derpy Dan has lost to RSJ, and his last lap was whoa, and RSJ having a bit of a hairy moment. The back end just hit the wall a little bit, but he managed to get out of it, and he continues as normal. But everyone's sort of settled down a little bit, so might as well compare.
We'll have to see how it all plays out a little bit later, but we might want to go on board a few of the cars as well. And,
yeah. Why don't we ride along with Uncrewed Squid and get a bit of a masterclass as to how to do this track?
Definitely that'd be a good idea. So you should be coming down into second gear here.
And he does. He pitches the car in and carries the momentum through the corner, and going up through the gears on the start finish straight into Hell corner. He's across the line. That last time was a 2:02.7, and into turn 1. Carries the momentum through in second gear. A little bit of curb, not too much. And now the long run down the mountain straight. Up in the 5th gear. And now he'll be hitting the top gear in 6th. And braking at the braking marker for Griffin's Bend. Takes it in 3rd gear and using a little bit of the outside curb. It's looking pretty perfect on Uncrewed Squid at the moment. Up through, into the cutting, down the gears as you go up the hill. Point the car towards the apex and power out. Don't be too heavy with your right foot on the way out because the car can get unsettled coming up the hill. Now towards the top of the mountain, through the many left-handers up at the top here. On the run towards Skyline into 5th gear, and now as he hits Skyline, down through the gears.
See how the track drops off there over the top, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of the most unique corners in racing. Actually quite similar in fact to the Corkscrew at Laguna Seca. Of course, 2 very iconic tracks. Now into Forest Elbow, down in the 2nd gear. Pitches the car and up against the wall, very, very close to the wall, but that's pretty much perfect. And now down Conrod Straight towards the famous Chase, one of the fastest corners on the track, and I believe it is the fastest corner on the track.
I think the fastest corner in Australia, isn't it?
Yeah, probably is. And through the Chase, and he's still full throttle, very late on the brakes for Uncrewed Squid, but he gets it under control into the final chicane. Now one more corner to go before he finishes a perfect lap, coming into Murray's corner, down through the gears, pitches the car in once again, uses a little bit of the curb and towards the start finish line, and it's across the line with a 2:02.8 from Crude Squid, and that was not a bad lap, especially with 60 litres of fuel on board.
Yeah, there's some very consistent laps there. The previous lap before that was a 2:02.7, so he's constantly in those 2:02s, and that's just a sign of a true champion.
Certainly is. Obviously, Uncrewed Squid, he got the championship wrapped up for the season, and of course he's sharing this car with Shads, who I believe is fighting for second in the standings, and he's going up against
over Speed Racer.
Speed Racer, and I think he will actually, yeah, he definitely will get him if the race finishes as is. So Speed Racer's down in 4th place, and Shads is leading the race along with Uncrewed Squid. Of course, on the lap 13 of 41, there's still a bit to go here at the Bathurst 1000. Now, through the top of the mountain once again. Let's have a look at Sato. Let's see how he's tracking. He seems to have lost his mojo a little bit. He's taking it a little bit more gingerly in the damaged Mondelez machine. Yeah. Oh, and in the wall again.
I'm just having a look at the points difference between both. Who was it? Speed
Sato and Speed
Shads.
Racer. Oh, Speed Racer Shads. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's only 3 points difference. So yeah, with this how it is at the moment, Shads will take out second in the Supercars Drivers' Championship.
Yeah.
But then Sato's, I think he's a bit too far behind. Yeah, he's actually couldn't do anything. He'll probably stay in 4th.
Yeah, not a bad result for Sato. I mean, he's had a couple of difficult races this year, and well, if not for those races, he'd probably be in the mix for the championship challenge. But here he is. I mean, he's in second at the Bathurst 1000, and second is not a bad result. However, he could still get first after the pit stops. You never know. He might start reeling in on Crude Squid. Now, I think we were
really waiting for that pit window, won't he? Now he's got to wait up to lap 14 now.
Yeah, so he's just starting.
16.
Yeah, I'd say the drivers will start to come in on lap 16. Maybe some of the guys with damage will probably make the jump at lap, maybe this lap actually on lap 14. However, they are a few laps down, so we might see that in the not too distant future. Also, we were talking about this in section 1. You said that this was probably going to be the last hurrah for some of these guys, a lot of them moving to iRacing, so we're expecting this to probably be the last race for Uncrewed Squid and Shads, well, their last Bathurst 1000 anyway.
Oh, we never know, do you? Like, if they hold their Xbox, they might want to come and try and defend their crown and get the hat trick.
It'd be pretty impressive if they did that.
You know, never say never with these guys, but we have got one more series remaining after this. We're going to have a week break before we see ourselves into the Toyota GT486 cars.
Yeah, that should be pretty exciting.
One make series, so I think Shads is going to sit out that, or Squid, one of them is going to, I think it might be Squid.
Well, and how's that going to work? Is there going to be 2 tiers, or is it just going to be one championship?
Yeah, we'll have 2 tiers. And it'll be basically 2 races a night, 2 different tracks, 25-minute timed races, so all the info will be on our website at ANZCRL.weebly.com sometime later this week.
Yeah, it should be. If you're watching the stream now, you're not involved with Oz and Zed. First of all, what are you doing? And secondly, if you want to get involved, that's what you have to do, and come race with us at the Suarez GT86s. And if you're in tier 2, you'll probably get featured on my YouTube channel. So come and, if you want to get on YouTube, come and race in Oz and Zed. Anyway, so who is close throughout the field? Well, Sato, he's 17
We've got
seconds.
Lockie just coming onto the back here of Sato. He's been holding position here.
Lockie in 7th
he's
place.
3 laps down. Yeah.
3 laps down, and well, I mean,
As I said, he's aiming to try and get that lap back on Derby Dan and finish in 6th. The top 5 would be outstanding if we can get RSJ, but RSJ seems to be driving away a little bit from Derby Dan.
Yeah, RSJ sort of checked out a little bit. He's 8 seconds ahead of sorry, of Derpy Dan, and he's just lapped Night Pegasus. Who, and also I want to watch Uncrewed Squid because he might actually be into the pits at the end of this lap. If we have a look at his speedo, how much fuel has he got on board? I feel like maybe if you pit now, it would be a good time to pit. If you can extend that tyre life to the end of the race, or maybe he'll try and make it a half race distance. See, I reckon the strategy will play a massive part in how this race unfolds, particularly for Sado, because he'll want to get that car repaired and back out, and that's when he'll be able to start reeling in Uncrewed Squids. Currently he's 2 seconds slower than him.
Look at that last lap by Squid though, 202.453. We were looking at before when we were on board, he was doing 202.8.
Yeah. So we'll watch what Uncrewed Squid does here. Does he stay out for another lap, or will he dive onto pit road? And it looks like he's staying out for one more lap. Maybe he'll go to lap 16, or maybe Sado. I reckon Sado will probably come in on lap 16 because he's got a lot of damage that he needs to repair. In fact, how much fuel does Sado have? Well, I guess he could probably.
No, enough there.
Oh, but he's in though.
Is he?
Yeah, lap 15 on the pit road for Sado. This is critical. What
taking out all the
here?
cones nice and early.
Yeah, yeah, that means nobody else can knock them over later. So the Mondelene pit crew, who are somewhat invisible, come out onto the pit road, and they are servicing the number 3 car. And the fuel's going in, however, he'll be held for a while because of the damage. Let's just see how long.
Yeah, and one thing that Squid will have to keep an eye on is just to see what sort of lap time Sado's doing in the next few laps. Because if he starts doing 201s, probably Squid will be wise just to pit and get those new tyres on.
And Sado is rolling on pit road. Triple Rotor Racing, he's gone up into second place. But he also owes us a pit stop, so I reckon he'll be in the not too distant future. And, well, he's coming up to actually lap Derpy Dan once again. Sado, he's still on the pit lane, and now he's just coming back into traffic. That car's fixed. He's got 111 litres on board. It's enough fuel to make it to the end. If he can keep the tyres together, Sado could be, and if he reels Uncrewed Squid in, of course, you know, it'll be pretty interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, definitely. And we've still got, what, over an hour's worth of racing at the moment? Probably just under an hour.
Yeah, and also what we were talking about before, Shad says he'll still be around ANZCRL, so that's good that the first ever Triple Crown winner will be sticking around for that little bit longer at least anyway. And of course, Uncrewed Squid, he needs to win the Indianapolis 500 next year to win the Triple Crown. And Sado in the wall again, you don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, pushing a bit too early.
So Uncrewed Squid, he started lap 17, and he is currently 1 minute ahead of Sado at the moment. But of course, he still owes us a pit stop, so when Uncrewed Squid comes in, that'll certainly be critical, and what Sado's pace is like over the next couple of laps, of course. And Uncrewed Squid just
it'll be a telling factor of when he's going to pit in, I think, for Squid.
Yeah, and Derpy Dan is starting to reel in RSJ. Well, a little bit anyway. I mean, the gap's still 8 seconds, but that can still be decided in the pit stops depending on how much fuel everybody takes and when everybody decides to pit.
I think looking at that with Lockie, how much he's gained on Derpy Dan as well, I think it's something that we've got to really keep an eye on in the next half an hour. Come back to this, and I think Lockie might be on the back of Derpy Dan.
Yeah, and of course Fish Racing, he's coming to laps to people. I thought I'd just give Fish Racing a little bit of screen time because he hasn't really had any this session. And Sado, he's coming again! That is
maybe he didn't get any tyres, something happened. Or the damage didn't get repaired, he didn't have damage selected to be repaired.
That is not what he would have wanted at all. That is a disaster for Sado. And that means that Uncrewed Squid actually has time to pit and get out ahead. But
you can almost hear the number 43 Kevin, his team cheering when they see Sado come back in there. That's pretty much signed the end of the race here.
And well, Emu's just noticed that somebody has dropped out of the race, and that would be Fringy Criminal, who I have just seen has dropped out, which is a bit of a shame.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, he did have a low internet connection.
That's
There
pretty
no
bizarre.
tyres change on Sato, apparently, we've been told.
Oh, that is a disaster. That is not what he would have wanted at all. Just something like
Maybe
that.
when he was flicking through his settings, maybe he had to flick through to select to repair different damage, and as he's preparing, like just flicking through on the on-screen display, he might have flicked no tyres.
Oh, I feel almost. I actually feel his pain right now. I'm gutted for him actually. But hopefully, I mean, he's got a repaired car. He's got fresh tyres. And now he'll try and start reeling in Uncrewed Squid. He's still got time to do it, and Uncrewed Squid, he still owes us a pit stop. So you never know what can happen at the end of this race. There's still a long way to go as we approach halfway in the session. So anything can happen.
Yeah, so Sato's really, I think, going to be concentrating to secure the second spot, which will be a great result for him.
Oh, and he's in
Just
the
try
wall.
and have a look at the history and just see what happened last year. I think they had some problems with some car problems. He was actually teamed up with Lockie 5.5s.
Yeah, Lockie moving to the extra car for this year and pairing up with you, Woody, actually.
Yeah, unfortunately we didn't get the result that we were aiming for, but these things happen. That's why we'll keep coming back another time to try and conquer the mountain.
Yeah, so here Sato comes. I believe this is this his outlap? I'm not entirely sure, but whatever the case, he's across the line. It is his outlap, so we'll see what his actual pace is at the moment. Uncrewed Squid's last lap was a 2:03.3, and well, we'll actually have to see how Sato is in relation to that. So for that reason, I think we should probably ride on board with Sato. We'll go to the roof cam, and we've got the speedo on, so you can actually see Sato is really pushing this. He's using all of the track, and he's
just
gunning
to
for it.
reiterate, he came 4th last year in the Team Casho car with Lockie 5.5s, which was a lap down. So he's done a good result to be 2nd at the moment, or 3rd at the moment, but after a triple pitch you think that it's going to be very close between the two.
Yeah, it should be pretty close. They'll be racing on exit. The triple rotor racing comes in now, and it looks like Sato, yeah, he's definitely starting to reel in on Uncrewed Squid at the moment. He is absolutely gunning for it. I'm interested to see what this lap will be. He's got 100 litres of fuel, so he's definitely got enough to get to the end. And he'll have fresh tyres as well, so they're just going to do just over halfway distance, which I believe they are capable of. And Sato using all of the track again. You couldn't have put a paperclip in between the wall and Sato's car. Now coming down.
The triple's in the pits at the moment.
Yep, triple comes in. Let's see what this is going to be like for him. And we'll see where Sato is again. Sato is rounding the final chicane, and he probably will jump triple rotor.
Yeah, triple will have a bit of damage to be repaired as well, won't
Yeah, he has a lot of damage, and this is only his first pit stop. So here he comes, Sato coming around the final corner, and he should jump him unless triple rotor racing is rolling on pit lane now. No, he's not, and Sato up into 2nd place once more, and it was a 2:01.8 for Sato, so
Wow.
2 seconds
What a
quicker than
time.
Uncrewed. So if he could just do that over and over and over again, he could probably catch Uncrewed Squid by the end, and of course he still owes us a pit stop. So this is far from over, and I can't wait to see how this plays out. It should be very
he?
interesting.
Yeah, that 2nd pit stop has really hurted Sato, so he'll be kicking himself, whatever's happened there. That would have really upset him.
But that, you just got to get your head down, and it looks like that's what Sato's doing as he gets really up close to the walls, and I think that's pretty much the close. Well, Sato's running closer to the walls than anyone else is. He gets a little bit loose at the top of the mountain, and well, you can tell he's gunning for it.
Oh, he's doing qualifying laps, isn't he? Lap
Yeah,
after
yeah,
lap at the moment.
I reckon we could just keep it pinned on Sato at the moment. Oh, and he's off the road. That's not going to help his case. But he's kept it on the straight.
Coming over McPhillamy, he's just had too much pace. He just couldn't keep it turned in.
But he at least he's kept out of the wall. He's kept it in a straight line. But I still reckon this will be a quick lap nonetheless. I mean, it is absolutely stunning so far. He's already made up quite a significant amount of time on Uncrewed Squid already.
So where's Triple in relation to Sato now?
Triple Rotor
on
Racing.
top of the mountain.
Yes, he
There
is.
he is.
So I think Triple Rotor Racing, he
So-
might just be out of the mix at the time being, but
Yeah, but with Sato gunning for it, if Sato makes a few mistakes and Triple can just keep it on the black stuff, Triple could end up catching him, so it could be a battle for second at the end of the race. We've always seen, haven't we, Gear, in these long endurance races, things always seem to happen with, 5 laps or so to go.
yeah, sometimes they do. And here we go, Sato across the line. It's a 202, so he despite going off the road, he's lapping faster than Uncrewed Squid, and if you're looking at the splits, he's definitely gaining on him. So this is going to be, if he just can keep it on the straight and narrow, he'll probably catch him by the end. We're just halfway through the race now, and Uncrewed Squid, he still owes us a pit stop. So, and he's in the pits now.
Yeah, he's almost got to do a whole lap around to gain on him, but I reckon he'll come out with probably about 40 seconds behind, I reckon.
And here comes Triple Motor Racing. Will he jump him? No, he won't. He's a lap down.
He's just stay on the same lap.
Now, we'll be watching this pit stop because it might be one of the most important things as Lockie comes in the background, and you can see his pit crew coming out onto the road as he comes in. And Uncrewed Squid, he's still being held on pit road. He's taking a lot of fuel, and I'm not sure if he has any damage. He might have some, and he's still being held on pit road. Meanwhile, Sato, he's coming down the mountain, and the fuel rig is out for Uncrewed Squid, and it looks like he's got some damage, so he'll be held for even longer, which is giving Sato time to catch up. Uncrewed Squid, he's rolling on pit road as Sato is coming down Comrade Straight, and we'll see what the gaps are as soon as Uncrewed Squid comes out.
How unlucky is Sato to have that one extra pit stop at the moment?
Yeah, he'd be ahead right now if it hadn't been for that. And we'll see what the gap is in a second. The gap is 30 seconds. So Sato, he still has time to make that up. There's still around 20 laps to go. And I don't know what...
Still a little bit of... anything can happen, as we always say. If some of the lap traffic gets in Squid's way, holds him up a little bit over the top, and Sato can try and get a clear run.
201.5. 201.5 for Sato, and he's gained a second since Uncrewed Squid's pit stop. Well, since he exited the pit lane, he's gained a second. So he's gaining time all the time, and this will probably go down to the wire, despite Sato being 28 seconds behind. And even still, he's gaining time all the time. I mean, it's incredible to watch.
Having a look at the difference there, Sato, sorry to cut you out. I mean, sorry, Arky. Sato has to try and do at least 2 seconds a lap. Like Squid can drop a second a lap and still win the race here. So he's in a commanding position still, with 20 laps remaining. And what is it, about a 28-second lead?
Yeah. But it's still not impossible.
So a second a lap, he can, yeah, exactly. So Sato needs to actually gain more than a second a lap each lap for a little while to have any sort of chance.
Well, that sort of is what Sato's doing now. In fact, he's gaining more than a second lap. He's actually gaining a couple of seconds a lap. So it's definitely not impossible. And we'll see what Squid's time is coming around here. I think this might have actually just been his out lap. But he comes across the line with a 2:13. So Sato is definitely gaining on him. And so it's not over yet. We'll just have to see how it plays out.
He's got a little bit of lap traffic to contend with at the moment.
Yeah, he's coming up on Derpy Dan at the moment, who's running in 6th place. And he's 10 seconds behind RSJ is Derpy Dan. And he'll probably... Well, we're coming to the top of the mountain here, so Uncrewed Squid is about to lose a heap of time, because there's no way he can get through here. Up the mountain we go. Uncrewed Squid, we
Sato's still doing a 2:01.5, so that's very impressive times.
Yep, and you can see just the time tumbling on the side. Derpy Dan coming down the hill.
So what's he, 10 seconds behind RSJ, so he's been holding a good position at the moment, Derpy Dan.
Yeah, he's lost about 2 seconds to RSJ in the recent present, well, the recent past anyway. But yeah, he's been holding good position as Speed Racer on the lane for his scheduled pit stop, and he will be touch and go to see if he gets out ahead of RSJ, but RSJ I believe still has as a pit stop.
Derpy Dan looks like he's let Squid go.
And he has. So, Uncrewed Squid. We'll see what his lap time is round this time by. We'll pretty much be watching the time. And yeah, RSJ's gotten ahead of Speed Racer, but RSJ still owes a pit stop. Uncrewed Squid, he rounds the final corner and across the line with a 2:03. So Sato is definitely going quicker than him. He's gaining 2 seconds a lap, affects pretty much. And of course, Uncrewed Squid with a lot of time there.
That's what he's need to do.
Yep. And I think Uncrewed Squid, he's trying to just drive conservatively and not make any mistakes. That's what they've pretty much done towards the end of the session, but the question is there full time to stay ahead anyway? Meanwhile, Speed Racer, he's just coming out the pit lane. He's lost a couple of places, but the 2 cars in front of him, they still owe us a pit stop.
And Triple Rotor, what, he's a minute off the lead.
Yeah, Triple Rotor, he's a minute off the lead. Still on the lead lap, but still a minute off the lead. Oh, and Uncrewed Squid is very, very close to the wall. I don't think you could have gotten any closer if you tried there. I mean, that was like a piece of paper. A piece of paper wouldn't have fit in there. And he's coming, Uncrewed Squid coming down the mountain now. And he's lost more time to Sato. Sato's gained almost 2 seconds on him again. And
Sato's tyres are going to start feeling like mush as soon if he keeps going this pace though, so... Obviously he's got fresher tyres as well, so that's going to benefit Squid if anything does happen near late to the race where Sato might catch up to him. So you think Squid would have the better tyres to try and defend that position?
Yeah, but I reckon if Sato gets to Uncrewed Squid, he's going to try any move he possibly can. Because I think he's going to want to get by. He'll make outrageously dangerous moves because you really have to. It's either really win it or bin it in the Bathurst 1000. Uncrewed Squid with a 2:03 dead that time round, so exactly 2:03. Derpy Dan on pit lane, so let's see if he gets out ahead of Speed Racer. I doubt he will, but here he is. He comes in.
And the other battle between that with Derpy Dan, as I said, is Lockie. I just want to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, so
Lockie's what, a full lap behind, is he? So he's on the same lap as him now.
Yeah, but Lockie also still has a pit stop, remember, and so that's something else.
Didn't he? Just have a look at the fuel.
Okay, we will.
You could be right.
I think he might have come in, unless he's just been really, unless he's done what Richard Westbrook would do if he was in this car right now, getting the pink fluffy bunny slippers on to save some fuel. But whatever the case,
I think he came in.
Yeah, I think he might have come in, and well, that's good then. If Lockie can catch up to Derpy Dan. Derpy Dan is still in the pit lane. He is rolling on the road right now, and Lockie's still at the top of the mountain. So he will get out ahead, but if Lockie can keep being consistent, keep being quick, he might eventually catch up to Derpy Dan. So that might be something to watch out for towards the end of the race.
So Sato was roughly a second faster than Squid last lap.
Yep. So Squid with a 2:03, Sato with a 2:01.9. It'll be interesting to see is if Uncrewed Squid is dropping off the pace, or if he's actually gaining any time. Triple Motor Racing is actually the quickest man on the track right now. Apparently, his fastest lap. If we just look at the timings, his fastest lap was well, it says, well, something's gone wrong with the timings then, because it said he did a 2:01.031. So that might be during practice, I'm not sure. RSJ on pit road.
Yeah, it might be.
So he might get out ahead of Speed Racer. Here's Uncrewed Squid. His last lap was a 2:02.5, so he's picking up the pace. He's identified the threat from Sato, who's gaining on him every single lap.
Yeah, I'd say Squid's tyres are really up into their window at the moment, so he'll be fairly comfortable. But again, Sato's just come over the starting strip there and done another 2:01.6, so just not quite a second faster, but still gaining.
Fish racing into the pits. Probably, I mean, he might get out ahead of Night Pegasus. I'm not sure what the timings are doing right now. RSJ rolling on pit lane.
Really opens up that question of Sato having to make that extra pit stop.
Yeah, I think he should be alright. Yeah. Blade Racer on the pit lane as well. And also, actually, yeah, talking about what could have been, Blade Racer. The man who's got
definitely.
Kiss the Sky pole award and well, made some mistakes in the first session. I think he made some mistakes in the second session as well. And then Jetto had to deal with the aftermath of that. And now he's back in the car for the final session. You just think, if he hadn't made those mistakes, he could have been up front at the moment, actually.
Yeah, he's hardware let him down. These things can happen.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of the race from hell from Blade Racer. And Blade Racer, he's actually right on the pace with the leaders. His best lap so far has been a 2:02.2. So he could have been right there, but again, as we say, the mountain decides who it wants to win, not you. So, and that's pretty much what's happened to Blade Racer. So maybe he'll be a contender in the future, but he got unlucky today.
Oh, definitely. It was unfortunate, but Squid's just put that going a bit faster again.
Meanwhile, Sato with a 2:01.6.
Just washing away that threat of Sato, I'd say.
And Sato's about to come across the line. What will it be for him? He comes across the line, and it's a 2:01.8, so pretty consistent for Sato so far. Meanwhile,
got a bit of traffic to deal with, though. If you want to have a look at Sato, he's going to have to try and get through the traffic.
So I'm trying to work out who he's actually near at the moment.
Well, he's got Speed Racer in front of him, I think.
Yeah, that's Speed Racer, but I reckon Speed Racer will be pretty courteous
and
to
then
let
he's
him
got
bite.
Night Pegasus in front of him and Lockie, I think it is.
Yeah. So, well, this is something that Speed Racer is going to have to deal with as well. He's all over the back of Night Pegasus.
In 9th position.
Speed Racer, just look at well, Night Pegasus, he's holding Speed Racer up a little bit, and there's not a lot of room to pass. As Sato hits the wall a bit, that won't be helping his case. Night Pegasus moves over to the side.
Sato's done a really good job there. Ooh. Just saying that he just lost the rear end.
He saved it though.
He's held it together. Yep. Pegasus did the right thing to stay out of it.
Yeah, that was a good move from Pegasus. Pegasus, he knows he's sort of out of the mix right now, and it's a battle for the lead and a battle for 4th and 5th as well. so it's probably best to stay out of it.
So is Pegasus not too far behind also Fish Racing? What, about 30 seconds or 20 odd seconds behind?
Yeah, around about. But I think they've both done their pit stops.
That could be a good achievement if you can make the pass on Fish Racing for 8th.
As Blade Racer on the lane again, so he might be here to repair some damage, or maybe he's had some other issue as he pulls into his pit box. And Sato, what's his time going to be? Oh, wait, what's his time going to be this time by? It was a 2:03.2. Uncrewed Squid did a 2:04. So they're both beginning to drop off the pace a little bit. Xbox stopped listening. There we go. Sorry, mate. Kinect decided to remind me of its existence.
So Fish Racing got out of it there. I thought he might have slowed Squid down over the top there, but he's pulled away and let Squid through.
Yeah, so the times are starting to drop off at the front because they're reaching some lap traffic. However, Sato is continuing to gain on Uncrewed Squid. He's gaining about a couple of seconds every lap, as we are almost reaching the 10 to go mark, which is where things will heat up a little bit.
Yeah, so it's definitely been a weekend of what could have been for a lot of our contestants here. The competitors have all had their ups and downs throughout the event. But you have to say, the people that haven't done too much wrong is both Shads and Unscrewed Squid. I think a couple of the times they've had some hairy moments and touched a wall here or there. I think Squid might have actually had a spin in the second session at one stage.
Yeah, but I mean, when you compare a spin to some of the other issues that other drivers have had, I mean, they haven't picked up any significant damage. They haven't been in the wall. They haven't made contact with any other cars, which is less than can be said for some of the other people here, and that is why they're in the lead at this stage. Yeah, extra pit stops as well. It's such a shame. Sato would probably be in the lead right now if it hadn't been for that extra pit stop, and well, at least they'd be close on track right now, which would be an incredible battle to watch towards the end. But that's sim racing. You don't necessarily get presented with the same issues as you do in real life racing, but it's still that same sort of
I think you can still have the ups and downs in real life as what you can have in sim racing too. Some of these guys put a lot of time in the preparation, and it's just like in real life. You could have all that preparation, and look what happened to Slady at Bathurst out on the first lap. You know, day done. These things can happen.
Yeah.
Put all that preparation in for nothing.
Yeah, and here's little Uncrewed Squid. He got close to the wall at the top of the mountain, and well, I mean, Sato has still remained consistently quicker, around a second quicker than Uncrewed Squid at the moment, and as such he's reeling them in. Gaps around 22 seconds at the moment, which was down from 30 seconds not too long ago.
Yeah, what have we got? We've got another 13 laps remaining.
Yeah, roundabout. My math isn't brilliant, so I'm not really the one to ask about that. But whatever the case, and I think Sato.
So you have a look at that. If he's only going to make a second a lap, he's still going to be about 10 seconds short.
Which is a bit of a shame. And I think he might have just run into some trouble there because the gap's now 23.3 seconds, which he can't afford. He can't afford to be dropping off time. The gap's around 22 seconds again. Uncrewed Squid across the line with a 2:02.8, which is about as consistent pace. It's probably about as average lap time actually. But and we'll have to wait to see what Sato does this time around. Will he have anything to answer to Uncrewed Squid with? That's the question. Lap 29.
Pretty impressive. Some of these guys doing 2:02s. The best I can sort of really manage is a 2:04. That's a qualifying lap for me, and these guys 2 seconds, 3 seconds faster in race pace.
I mean, I haven't driven around the mountain that much, and I intend to do so more in these cars because I kind of want to be in this race next year, but my time is nowhere near as good as any of this. And Night Pegasus He's on pit road. And they'll be servicing this car. It might have some damage, I'm not entirely sure. But unfortunately, Sato's actually gone slower that time around, so Uncrewed Squid is actually quicker than him at the moment. However, Sato continues to gain on Uncrewed Squid. The gap is 21.5 seconds up the front.
Yeah, so we're just hoping just to see what happens with Derby Dan and RSJ. If they're still they're on the same lap, both of those guys.
Yeah, but the gap's pretty
two laps down off the leader. What is about 29-30 seconds difference?
Gap still is quite big between those two.
Yeah, with as we said, only about 12 laps remaining.
Yeah.
But
So-
the mid-pack, anything can happen.
Anything
There's,
can
a
happen.
lot of us are prone to a bit of accidents.
Yeah.
That's what separates the mid-pack to the top 3 or 4.
Just
But yeah, seeing Squid out in front. Again, he's had a commanding lead and done extremely well.
yeah.
Just flashing his lights, just making sure that Curry's coming up to. See him.
I'm interested to see how Sato answers to Squid's 2:03.4, and he'll be across the line in a second. We'll see what he does. It's a 2:02.5, so he's gone quicker than Squid again. And here he is, Uncrewed Squid. He's lapping Night Pegasus, who moves out of the way relatively easily for him. So he enters the cutting and up the mountain now. And up towards the mountain. Sato continuing to gain on him. The gap is now around 20 seconds. With on lap 30 of 41, so if he gains 2 seconds a lap, it's not impossible, and if Uncrewed Squid makes a mistake, it could be pretty tight towards the end.
That's all it takes, isn't it? If he makes a little mistake and costs 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah, that could be it.
But the way the form of Squid at the moment, it's very rare you're going to see a mistake, especially with this clear weather, closing stages of the race.
Now, since it's the closing stages of the race, you might have to commentate for a bit because I need to change my controller batteries.
I'll go for it. I'll look after that.
Alright, thank you.
Yes. So he's just coming down into the chase to complete lap 30 of the 41. And that'll be, what's that, 150 laps of the actual running of the Bathurst 1000 we've seen. So that'll be what's around about 200 odd kilometres remaining of the race. I mean, not 200, sorry. What have we got? About 60 odd kilometres, sorry, remaining, 60 to 70. The 6.2 kilometre circuit.
And back. So, Sato is 2 seconds a lap quicker at the moment than Uncrewed Squid with about 10 laps to go. And he's coming down Mountain Straight as Uncrewed Squid is entering the cutting. So, if you think about it in relation to the size of the circuit, the gap isn't that big now. I mean, it's under 20 seconds now. So, this certainly isn't over. I mean, while it is in Uncrewed Squid's favour at the moment, Sato could still be back
if
in
only
the
we
mix.
could throw out a safety car. Only we could throw out a safety car.
Yeah. If anyone at Slightly Mad Studios is listening, we would really like to see a safety car added for the next game, and you know, maybe we'd see, and if somebody spins and damages their car, you know,
Press a
maybe we'd
button.
see some.
Bring it
Press
out.
a button. Press a button. Yeah. Competition caution. Yeah. That's pretty much what we've had throughout the race, though.
Give it to the race director's control. We could just press it and say, safety car. What for? Just we want to grip up the field.
There's some gum leaves on the track. that's a dangerous object, and that
Well,
needs
there
to
is
be
some
removed.
stones up there around the top of the mountain where the guys have run wide a little bit over McPhillamy in the
Yep,
skylines.
yep, debris on the track. Press X for safety car. Thank you. Right, so is saying in chat. Well, actually, Emu and Right, so talking in chat, and he says. Emu says, I think it's been a weekend of what could have been for most of us, lol. Right, so it says, been such a good race weekend. And it really has to, right, for Right, so and RSJ. They're currently running 5th with not too long to go, and a top 5 at Bathurst. I mean, that really is an achievement.
Oh, definitely. Something that you'd be very proud of.
Yeah. Certainly something to be proud of. Triple Rotor Racing should be pretty proud with his 3rd place as well. He and Dado have done well to put that car there. I mean, I know there was an accident at the start of the session, but it's still a massive achievement to be on the podium.
Took the spark away from the race a little bit, but we've seen what Sato can do here, which is just now, what is it now, 18 seconds off the lead. And he's done one extra pit stop over Unscrewed Squid. And you can't say Squid's actually just been taking it easy, because he's been doing 202s on average.
Well, it's a 203. Well, Sato's again 2 seconds quicker on the last lap. Gap is down to around 18 seconds on lap 32 of 41. So, I mean.
So again, there's another improvement in our lead with RSJ and Right Seller. They finished 7th last year. Currently in 5th.
Yeah, and even looking at the lap times, there's been exponential improvements throughout the field, which makes me sort of worried because I want to get into this. I want to get into the supercars next year, but I feel like I'll be completely outclassed. People have another year of experience, so if I want to be any good, I need to practice a lot.
Well, the fastest race lap last year was 201.741.
Yeah.
By Chuck Norris. Chucky. And what's it been this year? I'll just go through my little graphs here and see what the best lap's been. We've had a 201.8. What else have we had?
Uncrewed Squid across the line with them.
201.045 with Sato. So Sato's actually done the fastest lap from this year and last year.
And as fast as lap in the session is 201.5 in the session anyway. Uncrewed Squid with another 203.6, Sato with a 202.8. So again, another second quicker than Uncrewed Squid. Lap 33 of 41. 8 to go. Or 9 to go.
So your maths isn't too bad.
It's
you just keep pulling out numbers until you get the right one.
Yes. 8 or 9, one of the two.
That's how you get through school, eh? I said that one. I said the right answer.
Yep. Basically, so somebody looks at my test and said, yeah, I said that, but I meant that, obviously.
Yeah. Well, you get points for trying. That's the main thing.
Yep. 17 seconds the gap between Uncrewed Squid and Sato, so another second gain for Sato. So, I mean, we've almost hit the 15-second mark, so that means Sato's almost half his gap to Uncrewed Squid in, well, almost half the race. But I can't actually remember when he pit, but he's done pretty well.
Yeah, he's done extremely well. And Lockie hasn't been up. He's done a super effort to try and get a full lap back on Derpy Dan as well. He's, 50 seconds behind, just under 50 seconds off Derpy Dan, but don't think he's going to do much more than that. And RSJ's held a steady 5th position. He would have been hoping to get 4th over a speed racer. They both started 2 laps down. Just hasn't been able to match the pace of a speed racer consistently. Oh, he's just raised up on 2 wheels, Sato. Talking to speed racer, he's just coming up to lap speed racer now. And there's Fish Racing with Lockie in the background. Lockie's about to put a lap on Fish Racing. They both started 3 laps down. So it's been a good drive by Lockie, my teammate.
Yeah, it certainly has to get up to 7th place. It's been pretty good. Sorry, my microphone was having a few issues there. And I think Sato lost a little bit of time on the last lap. I'm not entirely sure why. I think it might have been in part due to lap traffic.
He got raised up on 2 wheels going through the chase. Actually, hit the inside curb, so that slowed him down a bit.
Yeah, I saw that there. I mean, these cars are capable of doing that. Oh no, you don't want to do that. Sato in the wall, almost on top of the mountain, and again, this will be costing him time. I think that may or may not have just lost him the race there. His chances
I think that extra pit stop, we would say, is lost him the race. But yeah, you're right there. He's been chasing so hard. I think his tyres will be worn out quite considerably, especially compared to unscrewed squid at the moment.
Yeah, well, if Sato has this pace now, oh, and in the wall again. If Sato has this pace now, there is, and
it's still amazing. He's still got that pace. He's doing 203s. I can't even manage to do that in the race pace. A lot of the guys you can see in the mid pack doing 205s, 206s. So these guys are doing an outstanding job. And Sato's pretty much been doing qualifying laps for the last 30 laps, and yeah, he'd be feeling it right now, especially after a double stint. He did the same thing in the session 3 to get onto the lead lap, so he'll be fairly worn out tonight.
yeah, and as I was saying before my mic cut out, if Sato has this pace now, if he can do this again next year and he doesn't have that pit stop error, there's nothing to say that he will not win next year. I reckon he can certainly do it.
Oh, well, look, he's climbing the ladder, isn't he? He was 5th last year, he's 2nd this year, so there's only one more step to do, and that's win the thing. So maybe you need to team up with Sato next year, Gear, and you can get yourself a Bathurst very early.
I could do a Highlander, did I say, come on, give me the Bathurst drive instead. Maybe I could take back my old number 4 modelling car from the old ASR days. But no, I don't think I'd want to bring Sato down. I wouldn't want to be the co-driver that stopped him winning. So I might, maybe go some midfield next year. I wouldn't mind driving the Illuminati Kermit car, but for next year, that's a car that I've really come to love commentating this season. Yeah,
it's a nice car, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe the number 10.
It'd be hard to get that off Dado and Triple. They've been a formidable team pairing. They both teamed up last year and done it again this year.
Yeah, I'm running out of car options here. I mean, I'm not sure which one I'll go to next year. I don't know, maybe Jed K-Glove or something. We'll have to see.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be definitely doing another V8 series next year. It's every year.
Yeah, one of the annual series to do, and we'll probably be doing IndyCar next year if you want to be in the Indianapolis 500. You can join. I know somebody I've been talking to says I just want to do Indy and that's it. So yeah, definitely more.
Well, that's
more
the beauty of it. There's a possibility of people can join there into our special events. There's it's open for everyone. It's only open to as many as we can fit into a lobby, but we might, if we get more than the 12 to 13 that we like to max out on project cars, there's always the option of the second lobby, but we'd have to run a qualifying session to organise the tier levels.
We could have bump day.
A bump, yeah, definitely.
We could have bump day.
Something that we've experimented with this Bathurst 1000, where we actually ran our qualifying session on the Thursday for the top 10 shootout. So it's something that we'd like to sort of implement a little bit more in our special events.
Yeah. So here we are, lap 36 of 41. Sato has closed the gap to 18 seconds, but unfortunately that's where he was a little while ago, so he's dropped off the pace. He's in the wall again. Meanwhile, Uncrewed Squid is at the top of the mountain, and we're pretty much, unless Uncrewed Squid makes a mistake, it looks like the Evil Knievel's might have won it again. here at the
Yeah,
mountain.
5 laps remaining, and yeah, the Kevin's car has done really well. And if anyone's taken any notice, the reason why they like to run that 43 car is the name on the back of the 43 car, Morris. He's actually Squid's last name in real life. So
is it
might
Morris
give you
or
his
Morris?
first name. I think it's Morris. I think it might be spelled a bit different.
I don't know. We'll see when it comes around.
I know in Project Cars 1, I think it was Morris, and maybe it has changed, but
Anyway, that's pretty cool.
yeah,
We'll see.
so
when
it's just a little bit of trivia for everyone.
When he comes around Murray's, we'll see the name on the side. So that is. Oh, I can't tell from this distance.
It's very hard.
Maybe we'll get it into Hell Corner.
It's close enough to say Morris, so it might not be actually Morris. I'm not too sure, but
Yeah, close enough. But anyway, yeah. So I've likened Uncrewed Squid to Scott McLaughlin this season, and I mean he's just driven so perfectly. He's been pretty much faultless, bar a couple of things. And I mean he'll have won the championship this season. Did he win last? No, he won the unofficial championship. But anyway, he won the Bathurst 1000 last year. He's won the championship this year, and it looks like he's going to win it again. And yeah, that's an 8. That's Morris.
yeah, no. So Unscrewed Squid did actually did win the championship last year.
Oh, did he win the V8
He beat
Tour?
Chuck. Yeah, he won that. He beat Chucky over Speed Racer, and then Shads was 4th. So Shads is finalised come 2nd, so that's a good result for him from 4th last year. He's taken 2nd, just took his teammate.
Yeah, so
And Fish Racing 3 was 5th in the Pro Division last year, but he's only qualified for the Super 2s this year, and he's taken that Super 2 championship out over Blade Racer. And then Night Pegasus is 3rd, and Emu, which is Pegasus' teammate, was 4th. So it's a pretty close championship in the Super 2 as well.
yeah, and of course Cavini's they've locked out the team's championship this year. I think who is it in second?
Second in the team's championship, we're looking at Sakume Auto Racing, which is Fish Racing, and Colonel Lloyd. And then Jed K Gloves was 3rd, so I don't think anything will change there, because Night Pegasus is 9th. He's behind Fish Racing at the moment.
Yeah. So Uncrewed
And
Squid, he
then
comes across
4th
the
was
line.
the Elbregson Motorsport, which is Blade Racer. So I don't think there was any changes. Team Mandolin might
Mondelin.
leapfrog 5th to 4th. Mondelin might leapfrog 5th to 4th. I'd say they will actually.
Yes, yeah, they
Yeah, they
probably
will.
actually. Because,
Yeah, they will.
Speed
So they'll
Racing
take
is
4th.
Yeah. And as I was saying,
Well, it's
Uncrewed
Blade.
Squid, he comes across the line with a 2.36. Sato with a 2.38, so Uncrewed Squid going quicker again on that 38.41.
There you go, 203 888 for those Lowndes Wing Cup fans. There's a 888 there.
Oh yeah, so it is. I don't know, maybe we'll see.
And that
something-
afternoon sun's just hitting the top of the mountain now, with a lot of shadows creeping over.
Oh, and
Ooh,
Uncrewed Squid.
wins.
Oh. Maybe we might see
Another one of
something-
those.
Maybe we might see a David Reynolds-esque type thing in a battle that comes down to the.
Is he cramping up?
He might be. I don't know. He might lose the unlosable race, and that might be interesting to see. I mean, it's a little bit far-fetched, but it's not impossible. We don't know what sort of damage that car's picked up now. That was quite a hard hit. And,
Yeah, I think I had a lot harder hits last session, and I was still able to manage to get my car home. Only just though, if people saw session 3, me and Lloydie both came to a little bit of a tangle into the last corner.
as we saw, yes.
My car was crabbing, couldn't drive straight, but Lloydie was kind enough to still give me that position.
Yeah. I mean, Uncrewed Squid, his car's been pretty pristine all session, but now that clout with the wall has cost him. Well, it's got scratches in the car. Meanwhile, Sato is dropping back a little bit, so I think he might have exhausted
say
his
he's hit-
tyres.
Yeah, his bumper's sort of hanging around on a little bit too, so he's probably touched the wall a couple of times in the last few laps. So wasn't doing that earlier. So yeah, he's definitely given the fight to Shad. So I mean to Squid. Gave Squid something to think about.
And I think probably driver of the day
outside of that curb.
Driver of the day for most people.
Yeah, you'd have to say Unscrewed Squid and Shad's the team. They've done everything right this event. Sato's, you could say that he's driver of the day for what he's done to get back on the lead lap and bring him and Highlander back into the contention. But you can't take it away from Shad's and Unscrewed Squid. They've been faultless.
No, you certainly can't. I mean, well, apart from that up at the top of the mountain with a bit of a break just then.
And most of the guys that drove in that wet session in session 2, it was very, very tough, and a lot of cars had a bit of difficulty there, and it was a very tough session to keep the cars on the road, and they still came out leading that session as well. So
it was actually a 2.67 for Sato the last time round, so he's dropping a little bit off the pace. Uncrewed Squid, he's coming down Conrod, so he'll be starting lap 40 or 41. So only 2 laps to go next time by. And this has been pretty stunning, actually. It's something to be admired, this drive. Absolute teamwork. They've been working together to practice together, and they've done so well because of it, and it is really showing today. Round the final corner, start lap 41.
You might just want to go through the some of the cars while we've got 2 more laps remaining. We'll go through, and we've seen Sato and Unscrewed Squid, so maybe have a look at Triple.
Yeah,
and him and Dado.
He's another what if today.
Yeah, and Dado did a terrific job in the wet too to stay on that lead lap. Dado's had limited times in the V8s as well. He missed the first two or three rounds, and hats off to those guys and to pick up the podium. They'll be quite rapt about that. And we'll look at who's after that, Speed Racer and Dark Racing, wasn't it?
Yeah, Speed Racer's done really well this season, and he was doing quite well in the race earlier on. Speed Racing, I think he was the second person in 2019 to actually win. He took the win he was the second or third person to win in 2019 in the main championship at Sportsland Sugo, and he's done really well. Darky's been somewhat absent from the series, but he's still been able to drive pretty well this season.
Yeah, had a few little mistakes there in the last session, which caused him to pit a few times, which is unfortunate. That might have just been not feeling comfortable in the car. But anyway, Speed Racer, he's tried to hold it together and come home in 4th.
RSJ.
And these guys here have to be awarded to RSJ 37 and both Rightsower. Rightsower's been a wildcard entry. I think that you've commentated a little bit with RSJ 37 during the Pro Series.
Yeah, so RSJ, I mean, he's been really prominent throughout the midfield this season. He's actually been battling a lot with triple motor racing, and he's just done really well. I mean, obviously not the quickest driver, but definitely very prominent throughout the midfield, and he should be commended on his efforts for this season. As we look,
yeah, most definitely.
Durfee Dan and Loch Vanish, they've done pretty well this season. Well, Durfee Dan, he's a wild card entry. He came to join Vanish, and they've done pretty well at this Bathurst 1000. Massive to get to see.
Well, Loch Vanish was in the Super 2 Championship, so he came in. I think it's sixth in the. Actually, he'll actually jump up to 7th in the. 5th in the championship.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
so that's a good result.
Uncrewed Squid on the final lap, so we'll just keep tabs on that. Lockie, he's had a difficult season, but he's managed to get some podiums as well. And you and Lockie, you've done pretty well to get into 7th.
I think I cost him a little bit. I think he could have done a lot better than that. And but anyway, I'm very appreciative of having the drive with Lockie.
Fish Racing, well, this car has had a very difficult session, but still should be commended for going this far and getting into 8th place and working to finish the race. Then we have Night Pegasus, who, well, he's improved this season. They've both improved this season in Supercars. Blade Racer and Jetto, so unfortunate for them. They could have won the race, but unfortunately it wasn't their day. Maybe next year. But this is the man whose day it was. It's uncrewed
coming into Forest Elbow for the final time.
Lap 41. They've weathered every storm.
161. Let's go to 161. Let's go the big numbers.
On lap 161 of 161, he's flashing the headlights in celebration. He's only got a couple more corners to navigate, and Shads and Uncrewed Squid will be two-time champions of the Bathurst 1000, and Uncrewed Squid will be a two-time Supercars champion, unless he's won another one, which I don't think he has. But coming into Murray's corner, he'll be on the brakes one last time. 161 laps, 1,000 kilometers. It's the Evil Knievel's. Uncrewed Squid and Shads will win for the 2019 Bathurst 1000.
Well done, guys.
Absolutely faultless.
Back to back.
And he's doing burnouts already. What an absolutely superb drive from Uncrewed Squid. And he's doing some, well, much deserved donuts. But let's not forget this man, he and Highlander, they fought so hard and they deserve this second place. And if not for that pit stop, it could have been the win for the number 3 Mondelene team, who come across the line in second place.
Yes,
and here it is.
Well done, guys.
The number 9,
the last car on the lead lap.
The number 9 Illuminati Kermit car. I've enjoyed watching these guys all season, and they deserve this result. They deserve this podium. Triple Rotor Racing and Datto, who will be coming in behind Wright Sower and Lockie, I believe, as well. They're all coming across the line, and Triple Rotor Racing, the last man on the lead lap,
congratulations,
in 3rd place. Absolutely superb.
And look at those solid donut marks there. And there's also looks like Fish having a little bit of enjoyment in pit exit.
Well,
congratulations to both those guys in the Kevin's car.
I have to say, it's been an absolute honour commentating this season of Supercars racing and watching it all almost from start to finish. And I'm so honoured to be talking about some of the highest calibre drivers in Australia. And that's it. That's the end of the Supercars. Your champion, your Bathurst 1000 winner, Uncrewed Squid, and Shads is also your winner. So here are the final results. As a
race organiser too, I'd like to also thank you, Guy, for all your hard work in the commentary during the season.
Thank you very much. I've very much enjoyed it. Thank you to Wadey and Masuzo for also joining me in the commentary box as well. Uncrewed Squid, he wins the race. Well, he wins the final session, followed by Sado, Triple Rotor Racing, Speed Racer, RSJ, Derpy Dan, Lockie Fives, Fish Racing 3, Night Pegasus, Blade Racer, and Cringy Criminal retired from the final session. So that's it.
And just a special note there, Lockie actually gained a lap there, was he? He was actually 3 laps down and now only 2 laps, so he gained a lap on that session too, so that was outstanding. Oh, actually no, he's still 3 laps down, sorry, he's 41 laps. Sorry, my mistake. Used to say 40.
So I think we should open up the party and allow for some post-race interviews. I'm assuming you want to talk to the winners.
Oh, definitely, yeah, we'll try and get them. I'll just return to lobby so the guys can get out of that. And we'll get the top 3 hopefully into our party.
I'll invite Sado, definitely.
Yeah, Sado and Triple Rotor and Unscrewed Squid. But that's been a great event there, the Bathurst 1000. So if you've enjoyed watching that and want to be part of that, please come and have a look at us on Facebook, ANZCRL. We're mainly solely on Xbox and on Project Cars 2. And we've also got our website,
ANZCRL.weebly.com. And here he is, the man of the hour. If you're joining the party, make sure you turn your audio on. So just at the top, include your audio to be featured on the broadcast. So there he is, the man of the hour, Uncrewed Squid. You're a Bathurst 1000 winner for the second time and a Supercars champion for the second time. You must be over the moon. What are you thinking right now?
Thanks, mate. Yeah. Amazing.
Smart.
Yeah, pretty cool, man. Yeah, felt good. But a lot of pressure
Unbelievable drive, mate.
Yeah, well, a lot of pressure around there, and Shad's drove a great race as well. So with team effort, we did well. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's good. Whew, jeez, sweating.
Oh, you
It's
could
a lot.
imagine that because one
Definitely
thing
having a
that I don't know if you're looking at Sado's time. Sado had to make 2 seconds a lap up, and he was doing 2 seconds a lap from about lap 28 to about 35 or so, or 33, and was slowly catching you. But unfortunately, you had to have a second pit stop. Was that what happened there? Did they forget to change the tyres or something, Sado?
I didn't. I had to come straight back in and put a set of green.
Oh no!
Actually, when after squid, buddy, 40-50 seconds back.
Well,
Also,
your delta time for the pit lane would have been about 32 seconds, and that was pretty much what the gap was. And that would have been very interesting if you didn't have to do that pit stop.
Yeah, it's a crap race all around, really.
I won't be too hard on yourself. You did absolutely sensational times. You end up with the fastest time, and it was really good.
Should have been closer at the start. Triple I got caught up because the drivers chat with the race chat where yapping away as we're coming over the mountain. Poor
Got you distracted.
Triple hit the wall at Reed Park and spun, and then so with me trying to dodge him, I hit the wall. 15 laps.
Yeah, well, these things happen, as we always say. The mountain can throw those variables out, and that's unfortunate. But sensational job there, Sado. And have we got Triple here or not?
Yeah, triples in here. Yep.
Well done, Triple.
Yeah, well done, mate. That's you'd be
sensational
very proud with
drive.
that, mate. Third.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that result. Big step up from last year's finish.
Oh, most definitely.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, Sado, I just want to ask, I mean, obviously you had those issues during the race, but are you happy with second place?
Fifth last year. You'd have to be happy with second. He must be gone, is he?
I'm still here.
He's still here, yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to take, though. But I have to do one extra pit stop. But these things happen. But anyway, Unscrewed Squid, back to back, mate. Will we see you try and do the hat trick next year? You know, we're looking at going to iRacing next year, but will we see you hold onto that Xbox and join forces with Shads again and try and defend that title for 3 in a row, mate?
Yeah, why not? The Xbox isn't going anywhere. I think although we're in iRacing, the Xbox will always be around. I think this league and this group are fantastic to race with. It's good fun, and yeah, why not? It's all good.
Oh,
all
there
good
you
fun.
go. We've heard that first, so never. So we'll just see what happens, and hopefully we can see that.
So we're wrapping up then?
Yeah, we're finishing there, unless anyone else wants to say anything. But that's been a sensational event.
Well, anyway, thank you so much for this season of ANZCRL combined Supercars for 2019. It's been an absolute pleasure commentating in the commentary box, and it's been awesome having Woody Lizard alongside me for the Bathurst 1000. I've been Gear 3 Gaming, Woody Lizard in the booth, and I think you're gonna want to sign us off, Woody.
Hey, well, until next year, guys, and don't forget we've got one more season to go, championship to go this year, 6 round. I think it's actually 4-week round with eight races. So stay tuned next week, and they'll be all up on the website and on Facebook. So find us at ANZCRL.com. Weebly.com, I should say. Sorry, I'm over it at the moment now. And find us on Facebook, guys. Until
Right.
next time, see you later.
See ya.